All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, guys. Tell me in the chat if you can hear me. Confirm to me in the chat if you can hear me. I want to see all your cameras on. Guys, today it's not any mindset call. It's a special mindset call. I'm sorry I can't put my camera on, but you have all my attention. You have all my energy. Okay, I have something with my camera, but guys, I want to see your cameras on. I want to see your vibration because today it's a fire mindset call. We are having Bob Proctor himself from the academy, okay, for setting your mindset in the right way. So I want you all to be focused on this call. These 45 minutes we are going to spend together, like be focused. Put your phone ahead, put everything ahead, okay? Take a pen, a paper, and put 100% of your attention. And guys, please, one thing, I want all of you to put fire in the main group in Telegram, okay? In the main group to know, to let people know what they are missing. They're missing a call with Bob Proctor himself, okay, for their mindset call. So, guys, let's go. Let's put some fire in the chat so that everybody can jump in and get the value out of this call tonight. And let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I start to see this in the chat. I love the vibration. I love the energy. Let's go, guys. Let's go. This will be, you are going to go out of this 45 minutes another person. I promise you. All right, let's go.
Bienvenidos a todos.
Okay, you can see my screen well, right? Okay, amazing.
En IM Academy, sabes, estás alrededor de una organización increíble. Y cada vez que estoy preparando una presentación para ti, yo pienso que las dinámicas de lo que tienes que pensar, las dinámicas de lo que estás haciendo.
Wait, because there are two sessions, one in Spanish and one in English. Let's get in the English one.
I get it. Hold on.
That's it.
This little book is largely responsible for everything I'm doing today. I was sitting in Lloyd Conant's kitchen, and I was living in a hotel with my green card, and I couldn't go back to Canada. And Lloyd used to invite me, Lloyd Conant was Earl Nightingale's partner. He used to invite me over to his home for dinner every now and then. I think he sort of took pity on me. And we're sitting there one night, and I asked him, I said, Lloyd, how did you start this company? Because I'm going to tell you something. The Nightingale Conant Corporation did not start a company. They literally started an industry of which I have been a part for a long time. And it was the personal growth industry in recorded fashion. That did not exist prior to the Nightingale Conant Corporation. So he didn't start a company, he started an industry, and I want to know how he did it. And we're having dinner, and I said, Lloyd, how did you start this company? Well, he said, I read a little book all weekend. And when I finished the book, I made up my mind I was going to build a world-class organization. Well, all of a sudden, I wasn't remotely interested in how he started the company anymore. I wanted to know what the little book was, and he went and got me a copy. Now, this is a special copy, and it's a copy that everybody should really dig into, the Science of Getting Rich. I teach a program on this. You may see it advertised periodically. I literally made a whole seminar out of it. And he spent chapter 7 on here on gratitude. Now, I'm going to tell you something about gratitude. We're going to get into the lesson a little later on, but I want to tell you something about it that I want you to remember. Anytime you find yourself getting upset, if something not very nice has happened to you, and it's really upset you, or maybe you've had an argument with a loved one and the argument upset you, but the fact you were arguing really upset you. Any time where you're really running up against a problem, you need a mental adjustment. See, the problem's in our own mind. So anytime you've got a problem, I don't care if it's a money problem, a people problem, whatever it is, he points out in here on the first page of chapter 7, he said, the entire process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. You know, I've used that on so many occasions. This particular lesson I'm going to teach you came about because of we were at a seminar in Phoenix, and Sandy Gallagher was there. She's my business partner. She was in the seminar. She was there. I had finished. I was leaving town. And she said, can I get together with you for a cup of coffee or something before you go? And I said, sure. And she said, I've got some problems, and I thought maybe you could help me. So she talked to me a little bit about them, and I got a hold of a napkin, and I wrote something on it. I'm going to tell you what I wrote on it a little later on, and I'm going to teach the lesson I taught her. Because she took that lesson, she had it printed up right away, and she was leaving the next day for a week with her sister and her mother in Hawaii at a spa. And she had them doing this exercise with her every morning. 3 of them later admitted that it quickly changed the course of their life. It'll change your life. Now, I am going to go into something we call the 8 basic principles for living the life you want to live. Number 1 is awareness. You have infinite potential. Most of you know that I started by studying this book. I have never stopped studying. I read it every day. Every day. In this past October, I started my 60th year. That book came about from these books. These are 8 books. These are originals. And these are the books that Napoleon Hill wrote. These are the laws of success. They're actually the laws of achievement. There's 8 of them. They were written in 1928. And they were written at the urging of Andrew Carnegie. Now, I have a special place here in my library for these books because I have a lot of his books. And they're originals. Is Elizabeth Towns. They're all great books. These 8 basic principles come from there. So I'm going to run through them with you. Number 1 is awareness. I want you to write these down. I don't care if you write them on a slip of paper, carry in your pocket for a while. Awareness is the whole deal. If you don't become aware of who you are, what you are, the laws by which you live, you're going to have trouble. You're just going to have trouble. You have infinite potential. Now, I don't know how to describe infinite. No beginning, no end. It's like I asked somebody one time, how how far do those rockets go when they fire them? They said they never stop because they get to a point they don't need fuel anymore because they're just off into the atmosphere, and they just keep going and going and going, and they never really stop. That's infinite, no beginning, no end. You look at yourself, you seem so small relative to the whole scheme of things. But you have in your marvelous mind faculties that enable you to utilize the whole power of the universe. I know that sounds like an absurd statement. I didn't originate it. There's people that are much smarter than me. But I'm going to tell you something. When I started to study this, I was earning $4,000 a year. And I was in debt. Today I'm worth millions of dollars. I earn millions of dollars. And there's an interesting thing happened 2 weeks ago that ties into this. In 1973, after I had left the Nightingale Coney Corporation, I sat down with myself, actually, in a house on Maplewood Lane. I've said the story before. In a den, and I took my pen and I wrote down I'd build a company that operates all over the world. 2 weeks ago, I guess it would be about 2 weeks ago, we launched a program. It was going to be 5 days. I was going to teach something every day for 5 days, for 1 hour. And we gave it away. We didn't charge for it. We're doing another one starting on the 12th of April for 6 days. It's on the law of attraction. Well, we did this last one. We had over 40,000 people register in it. Mikey phoned me in the evening. She's our marketing director, and she's also our chief operating officer. But Mikey phoned me, and she just got a call from Betty, who does all our IT. And we had people registered from every country in the world. I'm not quite sure how many countries were. There was over 200. There isn't 200 countries, but there's 180 some, I believe. And then there's other places that register, but they're not countries. It's like Guam is not a country. That was in 1973. I hit that target 2 weeks ago. Every country in the world. We literally communicate to millions of people every day. I am very, very serious about the work I do. And I would recommend you become very serious about the work you do. Because it's mighty important. Awareness, man. You want to become aware that you have infinite potential. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to go out and do everything overnight. But it means that you've got the power within you to go out and do great things. The second one is want. This is super important. What you should do is ask yourself, where do wants come from and why don't we act on them? You know, not many people act on their wants. Wants come to their consciousness. They see a beautiful automobile and God, I'd love to have that. I want that. But they don't believe they can have it. I was watching a video here a couple of weeks ago where Terry was in his condo in Florida, and he said, I wanted one with a big balcony. It looked like a football field that he has for a balcony. He knows he can get what he wants. You want to understand you can have whatever you want. Where do wants come from? Well, you see, I personally believe that your spiritual DNA is perfect. It's within. The heart is in the universal mind. We're not talking about the physical pump in the chest. We're talking about the universal mind. Wants come from the essence of who you are. There's perfection within you. And that perfection is seeking expression with and through you. And so it sort of jabs you in your consciousness, want this, want that. It doesn't tell you how to get it. It just wants it. Unfortunately, with most people, the second they think they want it, they reject it because they don't know how to get it. I'm telling you here, you do not have to know how you're going to get what you want. But you've got to want. Want is in a conscious level. When you turn it over to the subconscious, the universal subconscious, it becomes desire. Desire is the triggering mechanism that releases the energy that causes you to go and get going. Want precedes desire. You don't have to know how to get what you want, but you've got to want things. I'm going to be 87 in a couple of months. I got a lot of wants that I am going to collect on before I leave. I know I'm leaving. We all do. We made a transition into this life. We're going to make a transition out of it. We moved into our body. We will move out of it. That is a part of the whole scheme of things. But I have a lot I want to execute before I do that. The third one is decision. The average individual never learns how to make a decision. It's rather sad. And that's tough because the problem is you're attacking your paradigm. Paradigm doesn't want you to do that. The only prerequisite for a decision is, do you want it? If you want it, do it. I don't care if you don't know where the money is. I don't care if you don't know where the help's coming from. None of that matters. The second you want something, you make an irrevocable decision you're going to get it. What you've done is flip your mind onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract everything you've got to attract. On the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th of April, I'm going to spend an hour a day teaching the law of attraction. I've been studying it for 60 years. And not a lot of people understand it like I do. A lot of people believe it's a law in itself. It's not. It's a secondary law. The law that governs the law of attraction is the law of vibration. You can only attract to you what you're in harmonious vibration with. It's all about resonance, induction. It's about the laws of life, really. Well, the only prerequisite to make a decision is, do you want to? You don't have to know how you're going to do it. When I sat in that den on Maplewood Lane and said, I'm going to build a company that operates all over the world, I had absolutely no idea how I was going to do it. I didn't have one person working with me. I was just starting on my own. That was the start. I've been asked on many occasions, if I was starting over, what would I do? And I've said this every time. I would do what you're doing. I'd be in network marketing. I think it's the greatest idea that has ever been invented. And it's relatively new. It's not as old as I am. Listen, when you make a decision, you don't have to know how to get there. If you haven't made an irrevocable decision that you're going to be in the chairman's club, right at the top of it, you're on the wrong track. Why be there if you're not going to the top? You know, it's like, I heard one time Tiger Woods was being interviewed, and they said, do you expect to win every tournament you win? Well, he said, of course I do. Why would I win it if I wasn't expecting to win it? God, I love that. Decision. The only prerequisite is, do you want to? Number 4 is commitment. You've got to commit. When you commit, you say, this is it. Now, this is what separates the amateurs from the pros. There's a group of people in the academy that are not going anywhere. They don't do anything. They go and ask one of the chairmen, what should I do? The chairman tells them, but they don't do it. You've got to make a commitment. You've got to lock yourself into it. If you don't do it, you're not going to win. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm telling you what I've learned in the last 86 years because I've never stopped studying this. I probably know this better than anybody you've ever met. I've outlived them all. This is real deal. You got to commit. You got to be accountable. You've got to have an accountability partner. You see, I have a business partner, but she's also an accountability partner. And if I say I'm going to do something, if I tell her I'm going to do something, she can take it to the bank. She does not have to wonder whether I'm going to do it. I think it's good to have an accountability partner. I heard my son a couple of times, and I've heard Peggy a couple of times. My son Brian has Peggy McCall, who's a very successful woman, as an accountability partner. They check in each other, I believe, on a weekly basis. They say, what are you doing? And then they make themselves accountable to the other person. They're both doing extremely well because of that. Accountability, it's a success policy. That's really what it is. Look at number 6 is focus. This is the one focus, this is the one thing that Dr. Wernher von Braun told President Kennedy. This is the only thing he needed if he wanted to build a rocket that would carry a person to the moon and bring it back safely to Earth. He said, all you need is the will to do it. Focus directs and increases your personal power. When you focus, there's a power flowing into and through you. When you focus, this energy is coming into your consciousness. You send it out. Well, when you focus, you concentrate. Concentration increases amplitude of vibration. In other words, the energy you send is sent with a lot more power. I'll give you an example. If you're standing in a mall or something, and there's somebody in that mall behind you, and they're staring at you, you'll feel them staring at you. Somebody's staring at you, feel it. You turn around, sure enough, they look away, but they were staring. Now, what does that mean? When they concentrate on you, they're sending a powerful charge of energy that's activating brain cells in your head. And you can feel them focusing on you. Focus is what all pros practice. If you took a candle in a candle holder, lit the candle, put it opposite your favorite chair, and stared at the flame every day, let's say give it 15 minutes and then bring it up to 30 after about a month. Now, you're probably going to concentrate on the flame for a couple of seconds and you'll lose your concentration. You got to concentrate on the flame. And when your mind wanders, don't feel bad, bring it back to the flame. And your mind will wander. Stuff comes in and it just takes you somewhere. But you'll get to the point where you can keep your mind locked on that flame for minutes at a time. Right now, if you did it for seconds, you'd probably shatter a family record. Most people's minds are so busy, it's almost ridiculous. Now stay with me. Focus is mighty important. Number 7 is discipline. Well, of course, that's something I thank God I met Ray Stanford for, because the man that gave me this book, he's the one that really sunk it into me. He said, discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and then follow it. I said, this I will do. Because I intuitively knew when he told me that had to be one of my greatest problems. I was such an undisciplined human being. There was no consistency to anything I did. My word wasn't worth too much of anything. When I started to study this, the rules changed. And I made up my mind that I'd be very good at disciplining me. I discipline me. I give myself a command and follow it. I would recommend you do that. Now, number 8 is a beauty. Number 8 is visioneering. It's a beautiful concept. It changes everything in your life. Visioneering, this is where you truly begin to create your world through the effective use of your higher faculties. Now stay with me here. You have awesome powers. You have infinite power. There's a good one. The big cat. The little cat wanted to be a big cat. You'll hold the image of the good that you desire. And we're talking about visioneering. The imagination is the mental faculty out of which visions arise. Just keep this up, Scott, thanks. Visioneering is done by the imagination. The imagination is the most powerful tool you've got. Napoleon Hill said it's the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world's ever known. Look here. When you're going to visualize, you're starting to activate your higher faculties. So you shut down your senses, activate your imagination, and get prepared to lock your will on the picture. What you're imagining comes on the screen of your conscious mind as an image, and then you want to hold it there. You want to hold the exercise of the visualizing faculty keeps your mind in order and attracts to you light you need in a more orderly way. Stay with me. If you train yourself in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire and then carefully holding the picture, you'll soon find that your thoughts and desires will proceed in a more orderly procession than ever before. I think it's probably already come to your mind that if you didn't focus, none of this would happen. Having reached a state of ordered mentality, you are no longer in a constant state of mental hurry. Hurry is fear and consequently destructive. Now, I would imagine you're concentrating on yourself being a chairman. Right at the top. Don't mess around. Get at the chairman at lower level, don't even visualize. Go right to the top. You've got the rest of your life and you've got all the power of the universe. So don't mess around. Having reached a state of ordered mentality, you're no longer in a constant state of mental hurry. Hurry is fear and consequently destructive. Now get this. The moment your belief matches with any state, you fuse with it. This union results in the activation and projection of its plots, plans, conditions, and circumstance. Now, this is the new state of conscious awareness. This becomes your home from which you view the world. This is very important. You see yourself as the chairman. You talk like the chairman. You are the chairman. That's the focus. This is your workshop. And if you're observant, you'll see outer reality shaping itself upon the model of your imagination. You don't have to listen to what anybody else is saying. You got the whole picture in your mind, and you're going to go out and you're going to make it happen. In other words, when your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart's desire and hold it with your will. Do you know what your heart's desire is? That's the divine side of your nature. It's greater good. God's purpose is for greater good, never for disintegration, never for staying where we are. It's always growing. In other words, when you're understanding, you're not doing it because Proctor's saying it. You're not doing it because Hill talked about it. Not doing it for any other reason than that you understand how powerful this is. When your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart's desire and hold it with your will, get this. It'll attract to you all things requisite to the fulfillment of the picture, and it'll do it by the harmonious vibration of the law of attraction. When you realize that order is heaven's first law, yet visualization places things in their natural order, then you know it must be a heavenly thing to visualize. Now look at everyone visualizes, whether they know it or not. Visualization is the great secret of success. The conscious use of this great power attracts to you multiplied resources. You become many times more powerful. It intensifies your wisdom. You go to ask a question, you got the answer. See, question and answer come together. It's the flip side of the coin. That's part of the law. Every time you ask a question, you already got the answer. It intensifies your wisdom. Yet it enables you to use advantages which you formerly failed to even recognize. Look at when you begin to override your paradigm you're going to experience a considerable amount of discomfort. Keep going. Don't stop. Now look at, there's your thinking mind. Okay? There's your self-image. You get hit with old problems because they're in harmony with your old paradigm. This is why I'm saying you've got to build a new self-image. You've got to see yourself as that chairperson. You're the chairman. And you're going to block out all the negativity that's coming your way, and you're going to saturate your mind with all this new energy. The only thing you see yourself as is the chairman. Go right to the top. And if you don't believe me, go ask the ones that are there. And they'll tell you this is exactly how it happened. You move into results and voila, you're going to have it, baby. That's the way it works. And we're talking about here is attitude. Okay? The want is where the attitude starts. This is where all success starts. You turn that want over to the subjective mind. That's how the desire grows. I want you to look at this and think, this is me. That desire causes action and produces results. It's a beautiful thing. Now look here for a minute. We can say this is A and this is B person. These are two individuals that you know. You know them. I'm going to describe them here. I haven't got their names. These are two people you know. Watch this carefully. Both of these people have the same ability to choose. They both have infinite potential, both of them. Now, A starts off, they come in, they join, but nothing happens, and 2 months, a month, a year later, they're still in a mediocre spot. The other person, prosperity, satisfaction, happiness, continuous growth, both start out even with the same talent and ability, but both are not involved in the same activity or going on in the same direction. They're not doing it. What's happening? Well, A is being controlled by the old paradigm. B, man, they had a big why. They were going to make it happen. And they control the paradigm. They do exactly what the upline tells them to do. What's the real difference here? Well, let's look at it. B has a goal, and B believes that it will manifest. This is too bad. A probably got lost here. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. A has a paradigm problem. Absolutely no question about it. A is being controlled by the paradigm. B is in control of the paradigm. Now look here. This is you. Oh, I know that's not your picture, but it will represent you. See, the baby is represented by this graphic illustration, this part of the stick person. And that baby has everything dumped into its mind at birth. Everything that's happening in the baby's environment is going directly right into the baby's subconscious mind. That was you and that's me. That's right. For me, it was a long time ago, but it was going on. We become a product of our environment. We truly do. This is where our self-image was formed. Do you know our self-image controls our bank account? Controls the amount of money we've got? It's hard to imagine, but think for a moment. Here. That's in my other coat. I'm just going to show you something that's out there. Now, keep thinking. You have a self-image. It's part of your paradigm. If you just start to work on your self-image, you're making a big chip into your paradigm. Now, you have a conscious mind, The conscious mind is also your intellectual mind. You can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. This is where school starts. The senses come up. Now this is where you really start off on your own. Would you like you if you met you? Would you like you if you met you? You know, a lot of people wouldn't. When I started to read this, I did not like me. If you had met you, probably wouldn't have liked me. I'm going to tell you something. Today, I can kiss myself. I really like myself. I do a lot of good work. I help a lot of people. I'm not just in this for show. I'm in this for you. I work at this every day. Every day. I start around 5 in the morning. I study early every morning here in the studio, making it happen. I like me today, but I didn't always. It's not who you are that holds you back, you know. It's who you think you're not. I started to find out who I was. Something great going on in me, and there is in you. Look at this. You want to respect yourself enough. This is so important. You want to respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. Get away from it. It's not doing you any good. Peel off the masks of illusion. Unshackle the chains of expectation. Release the ingrained patterns learned. Give up the stories of the past. Let go of the fear. It's never too late to be who you really are. You know, it's all in awareness. I want you to really become aware of who you are. There's a marvelous inner world in you. It's within your hand, your head, your body. It's in you. It's a marvelous inner world that exists within you. And the revelation of such a world enables you to do, to attain, to achieve anything you desire within the bounds or limits of nature. This is real deal. This isn't some make-up stuff. I didn't just read a book and run out, I want to be a motivator. I don't even think of myself as a motivator. I think that's a little silly. I think people are motivated. What they need is to be educated. They've got to understand who they are. I spend all day, every day, trying to help people understand something that Ray Stanford taught me and Napoleon Hill sunk deep in my mind. Look at this is the key to everything you want. Gratitude. I'm not what has happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Carl Jung said that. It's so true. Keep consciously connected. We're then conscious of the source and creator of all power and realize and receive the many benefits that surround us. Stay consciously connected. Know that you're an expression of an infinite power. You are God's highest form of creation. The entire process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word. It's on the first page, chapter 7, The Science of Getting Rich. The entire process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word, and that word is gratitude. It's such a positive concept. I want you to think of 10 things you can be grateful for. In fact, I want you to write them down. You get a pads like this made up. Your company makes them, give them away. I want you to take a minute right now. I just want you to write 1 or 2 things that you're really grateful for. I want you to think of what are you really grateful for. Let it sink into your mind. I'm going to tell you something. Every one of you should be very grateful for Chris Terry. Now, I'm not meaning this in a mushy way, but I've sat down with Alex Morton on many occasions, and he told me, well, when Chris started this back here, there was everything was put into this. There was nothing to hardly ongoing. And look at it today. Now, listen, if there's something about the company you're not happy for, you usually point at the guy at the top. Well, every time you catch yourself doing that, complaining, look at the size of the organization that you're benefiting from. You're going to give thanks to the guy at the top. That's just the way it works. It's the way it works. Write down 10 things you're grateful for. I would put your company right at the top. You know, one thing I'm grateful for, I put Sandy Gallagher's name on my list every week. Every week. It's there every day, right at the start. All week long. And I've been doing it for a long time. You see, I was in this business for a long time, earning very good money, but never seemed to have any. It cost me everything they earned to keep the business going. Sandy joined me about 15 years ago. She was a securities attorney. She was buying and selling banks. It was a pretty big business that she had, and a very, very successful lawyer. She left that business, and became a partner in this company. I've earned millions of dollars since Sandy came in. I'd earned millions before, but I never was able to keep any of them. I keep them. I'm in a wonderful position financially. I'm in a great position mentally. And our company is all over the world. I'm very grateful for her. You ought to be very grateful for Chris. Some of the people at the top, Alex, Dave, they're great people. Right? When you write the 10 things down you're grateful for, feel it sink in. Feel it sink in. This is what I did for Sandy that day in the restaurant in Phoenix. I had her write down 10 things she was grateful for. And I took the time to make her do it. And then I had her, we got Gina to make up these pads, and she took them to Hawaii with her. After you write down the 10 things you're grateful for, then be quiet for 5 minutes. Really be quiet. Just sit and, and ask for guidance for the day. If you have mantras, you can use your mantra. I have a mantra. Nam myoho renge kyo, nam myoho renge kyo, nam myoho renge kyo, nam myoho renge kyo, nam myoho renge kyo. Get yourself into a marvelous vibration. Be quiet for 5 minutes and ask for guidance for the day. Now here's another one. Then send love to 3 people that have hurt you. Some people have very difficult with that. If you're having a difficult time with that, stay with it until it becomes easy. Send love to 3 people that have hurt you. You're not doing it for their benefit. You're doing it for your own. It's a way of cleansing any hurt you may have inside. Send love to 3 people that have hurt you. Keep consciously connected. We are then conscious of the source and creator of all power, and realize and receive the many benefits that surround us. I want to thank you for tuning in today. I'd like to thank Matt for the work he does with us today, with your company connecting us. And I want to thank all of you for being a part of this. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week. God bless.
Guys, guys, who took some notes of this one? Personally, I was here. You see what makes the difference between those kind of people and us, okay? The difference between this guy and us. Whenever he says one word, you can feel the wisdom. Whenever he says one word, you can feel the gratitude. Whenever he says one word, I think there is no English speaker. We can have this thing in Arabic. We said no. وشفتو هاد السيدي كيهضر، كل مره كيهضر كل كلمه تيقولها كتحس براسك كترتفع، كل مره تيقولها كتحس كلمه كيقولها الاكتيفيتي كونتر مع لابيل كتمشي ديريكتومون للقلب، كتمشي ديريكتومون الروح ديالك. هاد السيد يهضر دابا عنده دي بيزنس في العالم كامل، ليتيرالمون دي بيزنس في العالم كامل كيدخلوا الفلوس من العالم كامل، ولكن شنو فهم باش يوصل لهاد النيو في حياته؟ 86 عام، 86 عام غادي 87 86 عام غادي 87، ومازال كل نهار تيامباكت عباد الله، كل نهار كيساعد لو بروشان، كل نهار كيعاون الناس، كل نهار كيسيرفي عباد الله اللي اللي معاه. علاش؟ ما كحس حد كتعطيك شر، ما حد كيجيك كشر، ما كثر ما عطيتي كثر ما غادي لونيفير يصيفطك، كثر ما غادي تكون انت غني. انا لقيت هنا بعض لي زيليمون امبورطون. الاول فيهم شنو؟ البوفوار ديال لا ديسيزيون، خذ القرار. ثاني وانت بمعنى ماشي مهم تعرف كيفاش غتوصل لديك الحاجه، المهم تبغيها، تبغي توصل لها. ماشي مهم تعرف كيفاش تبغي توصل لديك الحاجه، المهم تبغي توصل لها. انا نخلي نهضر عليه هو الفوكس. شنو الفوكس في الحياه؟ يكون عندك لا ديسيبلين، تكون فوكس على واحد لوبجيكتيف، تحيد الله وتحيد السهل. accountability accountable. شنو هي accountable؟ واش انت تقدر تعود على راسك في حياتك؟ واش انت الا شتي راسك في المرايه واش انت تبغي راسك؟ واش انت الا شتي راسك في المرايه واش تقنع راسك؟ واش انت الا شتي راسك في المرايه واش تقدر تعود على راسك؟ نهضر على لا ديسيبلين. كومون اتر فيجوناري، كتكون عندك الرؤيه، ماشي مشكل عندك 18 20 25 30 عام، شحال ما كانت عمرك، واش عندك الرؤيه ولا لا؟ واش عارف فين غادي تمشي ولا لا؟ ما هضر على wants versus desire. الاهميه ديال يكون عندك ان جول وبليف، هدف متراسي يكون حدا ان شيفر. من غير الهدف يكون متراسي يكون حدا ان شيفر، والبليف واش انت كتاخذ ديك الهدف ديالك، واش انت كتاخذ بان سي بوسيبل. هضر على الاهميه ديال الباراديغم. شنو الباراديغم؟ ديك لا بروغراماسيون مونطال اللي كتحكم في الدماغ ديالنا. وحاجه مهمه اللي قال بزاف شنو هي؟ stay away from anything that don't make you grow. خرج من حياتك اي حاجه اللي ما غادي تزيد بك لقدام حياتك، حيدها ديرها ابار. اي حاجه لا كلي ديال اي حاجه في الحياه لا غراتيتود، être grateful لا غراتيتود. your list ديال 10 things 10 الحاجات اللي انت grateful for. كنتحدى اي واحد هنايا اوكي مورا هاد لابيل هذا اوكي يدير اون ليستا يحط فيها 10 الحوايج 10 الحوايج اللي كيحمد فيها وغادي الله، ولا كيحمد فيها راسو، يحمد على راسو حيت هو على قيد الحياه، وغادي في الحياه ديالو 10 الحاجات حطهم. ما هضر على شنو؟ 5 دقائق من حياتك من نهارك باش تفكر في راسك فين غادي، جايدنس. واخر حاجه شنو غادي صعيبه انا بزاف اكسلون، قال لك send love to 3 people who hurt you. ثلاث عباد الله، ثلاث ديال الناس اللي انت خاسم معاهم، ثلاث عباد الله اللي انت ما مفاهمش معاهم، صيفط لهم ان ميساج قول لهم شكرا، صيفط لهم ان ميساج فين غتسامح معاه كيف ما كانت لا رياكسيون ديالك. علاش هي كتسامح معاك؟ كتسامح مع راسك. دونك وي سيدنا هذا سيت ان بو لابيل اللي يهضر عليه ابل. كل مره السيد كيهضر فريمون اي كلمه قال الوقت مع السيد سي دو طون انفيستي. اوكي الوقت مع السيد سي دو طون انفيستي. كنتمنى بان نخرجوا دي نوت اوكي، الا بقيتي هنا كتسمع ما غاديش تشد بزاف، ما غير تاخذ دي نوت. هادشي اللي هضر عليه السيد عنده 87 عام، هادشي اللي هضر عليه حنا عندنا تقريبا، هنا كنا عندنا 20 24 تقريبا. هادشي اللي هضر عليه السيد عنده 87 عام، الا هو عنده 87 وصل داكشي اللي وصل في حياته بهذا الشيء و 86 27 عام ومازال كيدير هذا الشيء، شكون حنا باش ما نطبقوش؟ شكون حنا؟ ان فاكت غنكونوا ذكيين اكثر الا بغيت تربح الوقت في حياتك وتوصل داكشي اللي بغيتي اللي هو وصل ليه، غتربح الوقت في حياتك. هذه كتطبق تيقول هذا السيد دابا بوب بروكتور. كلكم عندكم في الاكاديمي، كلكم عندكم في الاكاديمي لاكسي الاكاديمي ديال المايند سيت. اوكي اكاديمي ديال المايند سيت فيها 7 ديال لي فيديو. اوكي 7 ديال لي فيديو ديال هذا السيد هذا. اوكي بعد ما تكملوا 7 ديال الفيديو عاد تدخل تشوف الام ام اكس ديال بروكتور. سيدي سور سون نقول لكم تبارك الله عليكم والسلام عليكم. ليتس جو grateful for everyone, grateful for everyone. السلام عليكم. ليتس جو.